This is not a broadcast.
Yeah.
You guys want to get more polarizing?
I mean, we can be. Let's.
I got it. I'm chill. I'm good. Okay, so we're live.
Yep.
Yeah, we are.
So we just did this workout out there, and there's that little lake.
Yep.
Says no fishing, no swimming, none of that. I don't think that's because they you can't get in there. I think it's because it's probably sewage.
Yeah, for sure.
Cute.
I got in.
Yeah.
And
Are you
I
itchy?
saw no, I went and showered, but I did that workout. And I was like, I'm gonna go jump in, and I kind of go over there and I look over. I was like, I don't even know if I can get out if I get in. And then I jump in, and when I'm 4 inches away from the water, the smell hits me. I'm like, oh fuck.
And you were already committed to the bit.
Yeah, you're in,
I was in. I was.
Oh.
I wasn't
In
like
midair.
leaning over. I was like in the air, and I smelled it. And I got in, and I've been in the water a lot. So luckily, as soon as I went under, I was just exhaling consistently, and then I got my head above water and sprayed all the water out, and I rolled out, and I was like, ugh. And then
That's gross.
Have you done? Is this your? Are we?
I'm clean. I showered.
Okay, we love that.
Yeah,
we
like a
we
hot
actually love that for
shower.
ourselves.
And when I do that, I can't swallow even any of my spits. Like the whole time after, I know I didn't ingest any of the water. I'm just like, so by the time we get back to our other hotel, we walked. My throat and mouth are so dry. Yeah, it was crazy.
Slimy beard.
It was a good
How
workout.
is that? That stash is getting long. It's below your bottom lip.
Is it?
Are you trying to spin it out?
Dude, I trim it every week.
Didn't you make Bryson trim his recently?
Make him?
He made
Yeah,
me cut
yes.
my hair. He
Trim
made
it,
me
boy.
cut my hair.
Yeah.
Literally.
What are we
Isn't that
doing?
basically how that
No.
went?
It was because the podcast we did with you guys at the Masters games. He said that my haircut looks unprofessional, so he made me
I
get
didn't
a
even say
haircut.
unprofessional. I said you look like somebody that I might find at a soup kitchen, dude.
Which
On
I
which
think
side of
that
the
still
suit?
falls.
That's a profession.
That's what falls under the unprofessional look for sure.
Living at a
No,
soup
no.
kitchen is a profession.
That
Y'all got the
yeah.
clam chop?
you would find me serving soup.
I was
at
going
a
to say,
soup
is
No.
he
kitchen.
serving the soup or is he
Yeah.
receiving the
We
soup?
find you begging for it.
Oh yeah, you could have. You didn't have mouthwash on hand. I feel like that would have been solid from the jump.
Not on hand, but at the hotel, I brushed my teeth.
That's good.
I did my ears with the,
The PFA is not doing their job then.
Yeah.
I could have swam in that and not gotten sick, and maybe laugh afterwards at all the games athletes who got sick in Madison. I was like, yeah, you literally have to drink a liter of that water to get sick.
Oh,
How do you do that?
I don't know anything about
I
this.
mean, they were in the water
so-
a long time.
Yeah, but every
Right.
other gulp, you're
2017.
just
Yeah,
2017.
all of them.
How- Let's see.
We're sharing.
You're gonna
mic.
have to, and you can't have a headset because we don't have any more.
Yep.
Dude,
He
this
knows.
is not about you guys are not an equality podcast.
I'm trying. I'm sorry. I tried so
Maybe we
hard.
can shift in a little bit.
Hey,
I don't know
this
if
is
that really matters.
this is a podcast of cheap equipment.
Oh,
I
yeah.
tried
Stop.
so hard.
Cheap equipment, dude.
Two dudes, one mic.
Well, that's not my camera.
Okay.
That's not mine. That's Ben's.
2 dudes, 1 mic. Yeah.
Oh,
Two dudes, one
God.
mic. Can you hear us over there, Susan?
Can you hear like us
I
talking?
can, yeah, I can.
Okay,
hear
okay.
you.
All right,
I
cool.
can hear you. My left headphone's a little fuzzy though.
Right.
Because
This is a far cry from whatever. Hey, well done on Crash. I mean, I already said it on the internet, but well done.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's because we weren't involved. We were busy doing other things. We would have
Right.
fucked it up.
No,
I
it
would
was
have found a
good.
way.
they're good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good event to be at, and everyone really loved the live stream for sure.
That's in front of his face. Can it be lower? Hey, can you
oh,
lower
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
arm itself, and then you can just raise that? There we go. Yeah, you
There we
can
go.
Taking away
keep
my money
manipulating
shot.
it. Whatever.
Yeah, both.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think both you need to get as close as possible at all times.
At
Do
the
you
same
guys
time.
do you guys hear me in your headsets? When I
Yes.
talk?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just got to be close to the
Can you hear
mic. I
me?
can turn.
You have to go onto it.
Right.
Well, and
His is quiet. Your headphones are quiet.
yeah.
Well, I
turn
can
it-
hear you guys really loud, but I can't hear. Oh, now I can hear myself.
Yeah, I just turned you up.
Okay.
We're good now. Everyone's
Your
loud.
voice is the loudest. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, everyone's loud.
So what?
Did you say yours is the loudest?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about affiliate con?
I do want to talk a little bit about it, and
We've
then
got a
and then
few
we can just
things.
shoot the shit. How
Yeah.
was? What did you guys? Because I asked you both if you learned something. You both said yes without
Yes.
hesitation. So what did you guys? What did you guys?
We
go
went to
through
the
today?
coaching development breakout yesterday first, and that was great. It reminded me how lazy I get sometimes.
I was gonna say I don't think the coaching, and this isn't a good or bad thing. I think the coaching development reminded me of more things than it taught me.
Well, we've had that before, both
Right.
of us.
Right.
That was my
But-
line from my talk.
Okay, and shut up. I'm talking.
And then Sousa's taught me how to make 1 million followers and
make a Miriam follower.
Yeah.
Okay, Susan did teach us that. And
he
then
just brought Hormozy's book, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Exactly.
a solid 90 seconds. That was
Yeah.
the best 90
Damn,
seconds of your
sorry.
life.
Okay, so
Back on track, please, sir.
that the coaching development. Then this morning, what did we go to first? Oh, Ackerman's talk, or sorry, Burns' talk, I thought, to kick the whole thing off was good. I thought Khalifa's talk to kick the whole thing off was also really good.
Heard it was very mindset focused. We've been here all day, so we're
Okay.
definitely learning from
Yeah, it was. I mean, I really appreciated a lot of it. And then we went to Nicole Christensen's breakout on like building a gym and a lasting culture while retaining the magic of CrossFit. I think was the title of her breakout, and it was really good, like really, really good. And just kind of reinforce it. And it was basically about how do you kind of set not my culture that she has, but how do you set a culture that is going to, perpetuate what we want to perpetuate as CrossFitters.
Almost like being relentless the same way you do with coaching an air squat, being relentless with, hey, these are the rules.
Yeah,
and
sure.
This is what we expect of you guys.
Like, just like-
Expectations from
like-
your coaches, your members.
Right. Just like the
Well-
whole culture of the gym. It's like
Exactly.
And just for right before this, we had Connor McDonald on, which he coached at her gym for 4 or 5 years.
She spoke very highly of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he owns the affiliate that I'm at. And so anyway, I get to experience like the coaches are all level 3s and they coach the whole hour. And the standard for it's so high, right?
Yeah.
As far as the coaching is clearly of all the things that they care about, like the paramount feature is the coaching, right? And it's just so obvious. Anyway, so it's fun because I've never been coached by her. I've never been to Roots,
Right.
but he's clearly taken so much of that culture experience and transplanted it down to Texas, which is really cool because he took so much of that from her.
Yeah.
And pays credit to her for that.
We were walking back over here just now, and I was telling Bryson, I was like, hey, we need to be more relentless with each other because we don't get much coaching. And if I worked as hard for every extra quarter inch of position that I did yesterday in the breakout with the PVC pipe, like every day, I'd be a way better athlete. And I don't want to not be that. So I just hate being lazy. So me and Bryson were kind of trying to commit to one another of, if he's moving like a lazy sack of boobs, I'm just going to.
You're just gonna give him every inch. That's all.
Give him every
Give
inch.
him every
Every
inch
inch.
of my range of motion. So that was good. And then gosh,
All
what else?
3.
And Khalifa was talking about breaking the rubber band. And that got me real fired up because I'm gonna break the band on all these little baby punk ass programs here in a couple of years. We're gonna break that band.
Yeah. Explain what that means.
I don't know, just
I know what you mean by it. What did he mean
He
by
doesn't know,
it?
but he likes it.
he meant like you start to pull away and you start to do so well. And this essentially when you're in a workout
Yeah, sure.
and someone gets so far ahead of you, you're like,
Right.
I'm done.
Yeah, and he was just relating that to
Everything in
coaching
life.
or everything in life. Got
Yeah.
it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna break the band on my wife. I don't know what I mean by that, but
Yeah, she's
He
fighting.
said
She's
that.
fighting for second best parent in the household. It's not even close.
Bryson is
I'm gonna
saved
give
you
her
an
every
hour.
inch next time we're teaching the overhead
So
squat.
you guys weren't expecting this on the show.
It's
were
fine.
you? You
It's
thought
fine.
you thought it was gonna be chill. Like
It's good.
I'm
have
talking about range of motion.
I
They
mean-
have a
That's
different.
right.
Jesus.
I mean, I
Yeah.
literally just posted that we were having the Degenerates on to finish the day. So you're just
Yeah,
really
it's
making
good.
sure that you
Nice.
fulfill
The
the
bench
assignment.
warmers.
The
Yeah.
bench warmers. Souza, how was your talk?
He killed.
Yeah.
I
What did you
think
talk
it-
about? I
I
have
think it
no
went
idea.
well.
I had no anything what you talked about.
Talked about. I was funny. I was almost gonna make a joke, but I was like, I should probably just.
What
keep
was
this
the title
serious.
of the
No,
talk?
just let it ride.
The title of the talk was "Breaking the Band on Googly Cock."
Nice.
Gobbledygook.
Was it really?
Gobbledygook?
Yeah,
Gobbledygook.
I just threw
Just
that on
the-
there just to be like funny right at the
Just grab
beginning. Just
attention.
Mhm.
Did people
Yeah.
laugh?
um,
Because I missed that part.
people like didn't really know how to react to it. A few people just took pictures of it, which I thought was funny.
That's funny.
And then I like laughed and
wonder
I was
how
like,
many
oh, it's an
people-
inside joke.
Like knew what you were referring to. Only
Yeah.
people who pay close attention to that. Anyway, yeah.
No, but I picked up on it because Fern mentioned it on the opening remarks, and he was like, with this partnership, we're going to give you more than Goobly Gook or Goobly Gawk or
That's funny.
Gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook.
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever.
It's
And had
gotta
mentioned it.
Gotta get it right. And it's
Yeah.
funny that Austin's here.
Yeah,
He's
so
sitting in
he
the crowd, most
mentioned in
likely.
there, and then the breaking the band thing was what Jason had talked about. But in all seriousness, I thought I liked that as well. And so even though it was a joke, it was like framed as like, hey, hopefully the stuff that you get out of the talk today, you could actually like apply immediately and like utilize. Because I think a lot of times when these talks happen, especially in terms of like affiliate ownership, you get a lot of like abstract concepts that are like good, but sometimes you're like, all right, I'm all fired up, but like, what do I do now? Like, what's the next step? And so the talk was on media content, like specifically around like gyms and how to like showcase it, because I do believe that every affiliate is a mini version of HQ. And so their media should reflect that. And so rather than kind of sit and say, hey, HQ should do this, that, or the other thing, it's like, yes, they should. But you also, as an affiliate owner, have your obligation to showcase it from your gym in the same way that you would hope HQ would be. And so I took kind of the pillars that if I were in charge, I would be showcasing through HQ, and I am in charge of my gym, and we showcase it through that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Were you able to use your own as a case study?
Yeah. We put up on there. And the cool thing is like we put up a QR code at the end, and it put them to a resource page where the templates that we use, like for my gym and like what we call digital word of mouth and like different things like that, are all available for them completely for free to just go download. They could just switch out the colors for their gym, put in their logo, put in their own reviews, and utilize the same exact stuff that we did. And then the stuff that I was talking about in terms of like associations with other small businesses around, if you go to CrossFitMore.com's Instagram, like you could see it to where the ones that I've done with the other businesses and just replicate that exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, a lot of them probably like getting access to that toolkit, like, and then just remembering that it doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to do it, you know, because like the media space for a lot of like affiliate owners often open gyms because they love CrossFit, not because they want to do media.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And to extrapolate or even articulate better that term, breaking the ban on gobbledygook, I think what you do and what you're doing, and you said it right when we walked in, you should start a podcast and you should interview your members.
Yep.
And you should make like, and all that is completely highlighting the actual story and authenticity of your affiliate.
Yep.
And that's all people want to know, is what's actually going on. And a podcast also is the number one format to kind of dispel gobbledygook. If you're not saying anything, it's really hard to get out of the idea or the conversation on a podcast. It's easy to get out of it. It's easy to have a 15-second clip on Instagram and say nothing, and people are like, "Oh, that's great."
Right.
You get on a podcast, you say nothing, people are like, "Oh, that fucking sucked."
Yep.
I was so bored of that. And you're telling them, "Hey, like this is how you attract other people. You just tell the real stories." Like have the lady who came in that was fat as hell, and 5 years later, she's changed her life. She's off the insulin.
Yep.
No,
that's it.
I thought that was cool.
And the other thing too is like people get conflated with, hey, how do I get more views? Or like, how do I get more engagement? And one of the conversations that I had is she's like, yeah, these views do really good. And I'm like, well, great. Even if you got 100,000 views on that one clip, like how many of those views are coming into your gym and converting to members?
Yeah.
So like, don't think about, you know, the view count or engagement, but make it about your community and your people. So that way they could go and show their friends and their family and have something to point at and be like, look at what we do.
Yeah. We have different types of content, right? We have like follower content, right? Which like we just views. So we just want virality, right? And so it's like Funny Ben, right? Funny Ben will always get followers, but it never turns into anything sustainable, but it creates more pace and foundation for a testimonial post that's following the next day, right? That we know will tank, always does, right? But the engagement and the many chat that we set up on the back end of that does much better, right? Even if it only gets 10,000 views versus 500,000 views, but it gets 50 comments of I'm in, right? Or whatever that might be, right?
Totally.
And so like, then it really tells the story. Unfortunately, the story doesn't usually sell really well, but everyone's so attached to the views, right? And so that stinks.
Yeah.
But there are points where like that's important, right? Like it is part of the game, and you got to play the social media game of like trying to get
100%.
to that.
I mean, you could have no views and people could just go see the page and then be like, wow, I saw this and I came in.
Right.
Yeah.
Like totally.
Well, and since the testimonial, like from a algorithmic standpoint or whatever, is not going to be your performer, right? Then is there anything like from your perspective that would help the affiliate owner once they do create that type of content and put it on the internet to get it in the right hands of community people? Like, is there any thought towards, I don't know, having your members help push that out or anything like that to their people? I don't know.
I mean, the big key is like you just make it all about your members and then give them something to share to other people when they talk about what they're doing. And that's that's the main thing, right? And so, you could collaborate with them. You collaborate with other businesses and you'll get the attention of their audience and you might get some more followers or you might get the view count up a little bit. But I will tell you, like, just doing the work consistently, like people will come to your page, not like one thing on it, and then show up and go to your gym because they saw people that looked like them getting results that they want. Yeah. So like it's very weird to think about it in terms of that. And I will say this. So for 3 years, I did a podcast about my gym. once a week for 3 years, sometimes twice a week. Every time they would go compete at weightlifting things or they would go to a local competition, I would make an 8 to 15 minute like vlog style video just about the members, and like nobody watched it.
Right.
And then I make the joke that I used to make these Hiller videos before Hiller did. I had one that was called like 1, 2, skip a few, and then I made one about the
we all know
NSCA
exactly
case.
what that means.
Yeah, exactly. And I made one about the NSCA case right when CrossFit originally settled with it. It had 23 views, and out of those 23 views, I got a text from Sevan after I had interviewed him, like before we were close or anything like that. And he was like, Greg really liked your video and showed it to like this other cohort of people. And I was like, what? I was like, Greg saw this?
One of 23.
And I go back to Instagram, to YouTube, and I'm thinking this is going to have a bunch of views or something on it, right? And it was literally still at 23.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so out of those 23 people, Sevan watched it, Dave watched it, Greg watched it. It's like, well, would I rather have 23,000 and have none of those people watch it? Or would I have 23 and know that it got in the hands of those people?
Totally.
So you never know.
Right.
That's a real story too.
That's crazy.
Real.
Great story.
So I wanted to. So you guys let Frank call in the other day.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
Sevan let Frank
And
call in. I would never-
yeah.
Did
so,
that happen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It was
dude.
Oh,
great.
you didn't hear it?
Oh yeah.
Tuesday
So
show? Oh,
so
It was
Susan-
great.
It was great. No, well, it was great. Well,
Okay.
it was terrible. He's an idiot, but for sure. But Susan
That-
asked him the question. He was like, "What's your $1 billion plan?" Right? That was
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah.
200 to $1 billion.
Yeah.
And he walked around and didn't say anything. But you
Yep.
said you had one.
Yeah.
I want you to walk me through the content outlines of that.
Can I say one thing before we move on?
We're not moving on. He's answering the question.
I'm just saying.
That's not how
Frank,
moving on
Frank
is.
is like Karl Marx, dude. He's the Karl Marx of CrossFit, but not even successful. It's like the poop Karl Marx
He's-
took one time in his bathroom.
He is. Well, he's in the bathroom. He is impressively consistent and resilient.
He's relentless. I'll give him
He's
that.
relentless.
Is he
Yeah.
is he resilient or
No,
is he
no,
just
relentless.
that stupid?
Well, just relentless, whatever that means.
It's like-
Relentless can be a broad spectrum of like insanity or stupidity.
it's like the
or-
person
or
banging their
intelligence.
head into the wall and they
Whatever.
just don't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree. So without getting into like the complexity of it, essentially the plan is that CrossFit as a fitness company, I think, is completely undervalued at $200 million, but CrossFit as a healthcare company, or is overvalued as a fitness company and undervalued as a healthcare
I've heard
company.
you say that before.
And I think that we have the tools for preventative healthcare. And I think that with the current system in the healthcare insurance system, that it's completely like smoke and mirrors. The whole entire system is very corrupt. It's very complex. And these are features. They are not bugs. It is this way intentionally.
Mhm.
And we're seeing the population continuing to get sicker. We're seeing healthcare providers continuing to have worse results in the fields that they're deciding to invest their time in.
Getting richer.
And the healthcare providers are actually not getting richer, but the
Providers
corporations,
are, but the corporations
the
are.
pharmaceutical companies are, and the insurance companies are, and essentially the bureaucrats and the regulators of it. And I don't think that there's a way to change that system. I think you have to come up with an alternative one and capsize it. And so when you have things like crowdfunded health, the biggest fear that people have is what happens if something happens to me and I have $100,000 worth of
Right.
bills potentially for the rest of my life, right? And so I did some back of the napkin math on it with my friend AI, but I realized that at some point you have tipping points. 200,000 is one of them. 500,000 capsizes and potentially puts a hole in the size of the ship of the current insurance model. That it may not
500,000
recover.
Consumers.
People,
Okay.
yeah, in crowdfunded health. And I realized that if you took that infrastructure along with what we already have with CrossFit, with the brick and mortars and the affiliates, and we have this as like a system for all of us that are focused on preventative healthcare through lifestyle choices to opt out and to go into a crowdfunded health thing, we could essentially capsize that system. And here's why: 90 cents of every single dollar is spent on chronic disease. When you look at the cohort of people that are in here and the ability that we have to reverse those chronic diseases with the methodology of CrossFit, we have the cure, and then therefore we have the button that could push the spending back. So when you think about it, if I were to say, well, what if I could give you your healthcare for 90% less than it costs right now, because we all subsidize the chronic disease.
So our
Totally.
what dollar? Like what dollar is that? Like what we pay for health insurance? Is that what that dollar
Yeah,
is?
so if you just took
Okay.
$1, 90 cents of that is spent on chronic disease, which is sickness management, which
Right.
all that does is put more profit into the privatized hospitals. It puts more profit into the pharmaceutical companies because they just come up with
Mhm.
symptom management.
Which only
Right.
means that they make you sicker over the course
But
of
he's-
time.
That's right.
His question is which dollar? The dollar that you spend on health insurance.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Yes.
my premiums. So like I have $6,000 a year in premiums. Like you,
Yep.
you 90 cents on the dollar goes to
So make it
maintain
simple
sure.
math.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just take all the money that you spend and say 90% of that $6,000 you spend, I mean, how often do you see the doctor?
Yeah. I mean, my health is not a fair argument for this situation, but yes, on the average person, 100%.
So on the average person, right? Like even if you have somebody that has certain conditions or are using spending or anything like that, it would be significantly less than it would be. I mean, look it around. I mean, you guys been to the airports.
Yeah,
walk around the airport and look at everybody else. The nation is getting sicker.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Life expectancy is becoming down. It's the first time that it's stopped at like whatever it was, 78. Now it's moving backwards.
So you're saying, so your plan is, if you're a member of a CrossFit affiliate, you get access to this crowdfunded.
Correct.
Okay, and it's on like a sliding scale of, hey, you join right now and your premium is this, and then once you've been here for 5 years and you have these metrics, your premium is this and it's lower, et cetera.
That's right. Well, you could go and get your health score with CrossFit Medical Society right now. So they draw your blood, and the platform that they have puts you on the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum,
right?
And it'll show you your score, and then it'll also show you what you're deficient in.
And
so is this with community care? Is that like the intended concept?
I mean, yeah, that you would need some sort of infrastructure like that already pre-existed. You couldn't do it as a startup. So you would need a partner like Community Care, which is the parent company that is Crowd Health.
And you think that's what they're going for?
Who's they?
Crowd
Medical
Health
Society.
and CrossFit and the CrossFit.
This is my vision.
Okay.
Yeah, if I get the right people in place. And then I think the other thing that's going to be important is the actual digital footprint.
Because right now, the only people that can be a part of CrossFit Community Care are L1, L2, L3, L4.
Right. And that's because like proof of concept model and like making sure that's rolled out in the right way. And also too, it gives you a differentiator as a CrossFit affiliate. Because let's say after a 90-day mark, once you join, you could opt into that model, and then you get your blood panel and everything else, and you continue to do that to where you show yourself getting healthier, and then therefore that allows you.
And now what is the what is the cap size amount or the hole in the ship amount for CrossFit Community Care as it stands now? Like, what is it good up to? 200,000? Like, what is the emergency that happens where at that point, if you're on community care, you're fucked?
Well, right now they end up covering almost all of it. I think they have
cover
like $10
all of
million
it and with reimbursements.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, right.
So what I'm saying
is there an event that could happen to you as a person that's like, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to cover that?
I mean, I'm sure you'd have to talk to Tom and Jen about it, right? But here's the crazy part about it: that already currently exists in the insurance that you're
every
right
insurance
now.
thing.
Wow.
There are top ends, and I've unfortunately been to the top end of multiple like.
I don't have health insurance, so I'm learning a lot. Now, Lizzie and I are going to get on community care.
There's 100% on all the things, and like I've had quite a bit of health stuff, and so both times I've had insurance and it's helped, but I've ran the numbers with cash, and cash would have been cheaper even based on if you just took away my premiums, what I paid out, I could have cash paid, payment plan, paid in full, partial in fulls, etc., lump sum. What the Bulldogs do in community care is what they call them, right? Like what they do is they consolidate all of these numbers, and because there's so much unpaid bills, just like debt collectors, they will take just about anything, because the odds of you paying as an uninsured person are nil. Right? Like they assume they're not going to get $1. So if you're like, I'll give you 10% of this $30,000 bill, it's $3,000. You didn't pay premiums for 2 years, and your deductible was $5,000. Well, if you have insurance, that deductible is going to be $5,000 no matter what, and they're going to get that money, right? So you saved money, and now you're $400 a month in premiums that you didn't pay for the last 2 years, which is $10,000 you didn't pay, right? So it's always there. You just have to back of the napkin math it, and it's there. There's generally like people are just uncomfortable. It's kind of risky, but like you can cash your way into it cheaper, and their community care is an even better way, because those Bulldogs are way fucking smarter than I am.
That's right.
Trying to beat them down on those prices.
And quick question on that. The kind of, I don't know, I have this perception that because of insurance, we've, as a society, grown toward living our lives in a way where we're far more reckless with our health and everyday choices. Like everything you put into your mouth, every drop of alcohol you consume, even the way you drive, the risks you take as a person in the gym or in an affiliate even. Like you have this, I have health insurance. If I get her, I'll just go get a surgery. If I this or that. And I feel like I don't know. I mean, do you think there's any element of that on the decisions people make? As like, I have health insurance. The doctor will take care of it.
I think it is with eating. I don't know if people drive thinking like that.
Yeah, true.
Or
I
like,
definitely don't. I guess I don't have health insurance, and I fucking crank it.
Well, I don't. The eating thing is so hard for me to. I mean,
Gotta
I'm
be
not saying
specific,
that would be incorrect. That's just it's a wild thought because the repercussions are your quality of life is trash, right? So it's like
yeah.
that's the price
Not
you pay.
just
I
the
could
quality
see-
of life.
I don't-
The
I don't
length
think-
of life.
Yes.
Yeah, and
everything.
I
Yes.
don't think I know you're not saying this, but I think it's important to say that he doesn't mean like consciously. Like people aren't like, oh, I have health insurance, so I'm gonna eat this donut.
Right. It's a subconscious.
It's just how
symptom.
people. It's just what society is
Or-
now. Like
yeah.
people don't think about how impactful every single thing you put into your body and every single thing you do with
and
your body
you
is.
should.
You should 100%.
Everything. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that is such a. It's a bauble, and that's probably putting it so lightly. It's not even the right term for it, but it's a blunder of modern society and the miracle that modern medicine truly is,
Mhm.
that we live our lives in such a reckless way, and to act like a box of French fries isn't reckless is just completely ignorant.
Sure.
I mean, it's
Yeah, everyone went to elementary school science class where you learn that, hey, all the food you consume eventually becomes your skin. It becomes your organs. Like everything, you're getting rid of dead
Advanced in,
cells.
elementary class.
Yeah, I mean, you learn
I learned
that
how to
stuff-
draw penises in elementary
you learn that
school.
stuff
go
when
to
you're
school.
Yeah.
you learn that stuff when you're so young though, and people still know it, and you're getting rid of dead cells all the time, and your new ones are made up of what you put in your body.
Sure.
And people still are going to McDonald's and doing the 20-piece nugget and Ovaltine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jab.
John Young.
Oh, that was
Well,
such
that
a
was
jab.
a-
That was
yeah,
a specific
And
jab.
here's why the
It was
system
a whole build.
functions.
It was a whole build.
That
He
is
was-
a
he was-
billion-dollar idea, by the way.
The system functions perfectly as it's meant to. Okay, so it's built this way on purpose. Now, here's why: hospitals, how do they make money?
Sick people.
Right, pharmaceutical
Yeah, sick,
companies.
of course. I mean,
Okay.
this is obvious.
So now, what happens if that model was flipped to where you had to actually be inside of a gym and work on the lifestyle prevention for the medical field?
Yeah, gyms would explode.
So right, and so that's the point, right? It's not necessarily trying to alter people's decision making, because I agree with Greg in this, that like when you talk about chronic disease, it's a psychiatric problem, and it's an addiction.
There we go.
And
There
so
we go.
that's really like the main piece of it, and it's not necessarily like a reckless. Like I believe that these foods are. I know that these foods are engineered
To be addictive.
Hey,
addictive.
but it's not
Yes.
even-
It bypasses all your biology, so you're never full.
Yes.
So you always want more.
I'd go
and-
further though. As a society, it's not just an addiction to food. It's an addiction to anything that causes pleasure, because it's
Right.
not
It's a
just
dopamine-
food.
it's a
It's
dopamine
not
addiction
just
across
it's
the
not
board.
just a
across the board.
yeah. The food addiction society is not the only thing that just perpetuates and cause this bloat and gluttonous lifestyle that we as Americans and maybe Western society in general live. It's everything: sex,
Yeah.
food, anything that feels good, that's like overindulged in.
Yeah.
And anything that's uncomfortable is ran away from.
Right, and so
That's the psychiatric problem.
with the other piece of how do I make it $1 billion company is when I believe like right now you should go to CrossFit.com and it should look like Google, but inside that search bar you actually have an AI that spits out answers about health and exercise science that are free of government corruption and free of corporate
It
interest.
just says
Yeah,
CrossFit
well,
and
it's-
it's the
you would
same
just- you
search
would just
bar.
build
and
a
it's a
chat.
search bar.
Well, you would
That's
just build a chat.
crazy.
Well, you would build. We have like fitness based chats like that. We've like just taught it on like we've taught it to like only pull from within your
Right.
learned concepts. So you can like basically just dump literally all the archives of CrossFit into a chat, like into a GPT, and block it from everything else on the outside.
And then you take every medical journal that's done on preventative care, you take it on holistic, like, so you
Right.
could build that out. And then now what you have is you have this single source of truth about health and fitness, right? So if you have that, then you have this opt-out button where you join to a CrossFit affiliate where you could actually opt out to the system.
Mhm.
And then we have enough people that are within that system that are paying it to where you don't have to worry about the question of, hey, if this happens to me, like, will it get covered? You could say, yes, it will, because statistically speaking, everybody that's paying into this thing right now is a really healthy set of people. So when
Right.
you have some sort of medical event or some sort of condition that's going to cost you a lot of money, we know that we could go ahead and take care of that. And then
Right.
when you start to move the subsidization of chronic disease out of it, everything becomes a heck of a lot cheaper.
Oh,
And then the
for
models
sure.
flip.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
people in gyms become the profit model for the insurance company, as opposed to people in beds
Right.
and hospitals become the profit model.
And
for
how
insurance
crazy
companies.
is it? Even with community care as it stands now, the level of trust I would have giving them my money, knowing the only people that are allowed to have this are
Yeah.
credentialed CrossFit trainers.
Right.
I already give him my money.
Okay, dude. Sorry. I'll do it.
I love
You can
it.
give me your money too, bro. Have you joined my
Dude,
course?
just remember
Yeah,
when
sure.
your $1 billion idea comes to fruition, just remember who's gonna freaking
well,
get on
then,
that thing for you. Me.
There's one.
Don't
there's,
forget about me, Daddy.
There's another infrastructure piece of it too, and I believe that it's data. And I think that once we start understanding that we need to own our data because it's all being sold to third-party companies, whether it's your metadata, whether it's your Google search, or whether it's most importantly your medical data.
Right.
If you were able to put that inside some sort of digital wallet, and that was the third piece of an infrastructure there, and then you could either hold it for your own privacy or you could utilize it to sell to those companies to subsidize either your membership or subsidize some of your healthcare costs. You would be able to flip that model on its head and say, hey, all these companies that are harvesting all of our data for free and then selling it so we're targeted to ads, well, now we can hold it inside of some sort of digital wallet. And then you either say, you're not going to touch me at all, I'm going to have actual privacy with my data, or I'll sell it to subsidize it. So then when you talk about Medicare or Medicaid, those underserved populations, and you were able to get their data into it about what it looked like with their medical information and how that's being moved to other companies to essentially exploit them.
Right.
Totally.
But if you could hold that within it to where you don't, or if you do it a little bits at a time to subsidize some of the interventions they would need inside of CrossFit gyms, you'd be able to flip that model as well. So
Gosh.
those three infrastructures.
I think we're on the
would be the idea.
precipice of you. I mean that.
Of
This
me.
is like your tipping point, your jumping off moment.
Wow.
I
On
think
the
you're in the
WODprep
middle of
Get it
that.
on the WODprep podcast.
All 30 people watching.
No, I just think you're probably at the stage in your life where like you have a really good idea that's probably going to take off.
Thanks, dude.
Sousa's precipice is ready.
Damn, dude.
Well, I mean,
That juicy.
That was fantastic.
Get a bucket and a
Too
mop,
far,
dude.
too
That's
far, you say
okay.
juicy,
Sorry.
too far.
I didn't even listen to any of that
Hey,
because I was like thinking about all that.
I think you should be able to opt in to like a yearly or twice a year fitness test and not have to pay
Well,
taxes
well,
if you do well enough.
That would only work in the current system we have now.
What would?
Right.
What he's saying.
Oh, yeah. And that's why
that
you can't-
tax credit would only work in a system where we're making money.
Yeah, you have to have a parallel. You can't switch the current system because it's way too robust and
Was it
there's way
$10
too much
trillion,
power.
9 trillion, 10 trillion. When Jen said $9 trillion, right?
Yeah, the health,
whatever.
the health insurance like industry.
And so we're
imagine if people had access to like the truth about the outcomes of the whatever they're being medicated for. Imagine if
Right.
people really understood, like, let's play this down chain and see, like, you're being put on this medication because it's going to help you with this symptom, but then what will that create down chain? Like, if people actually had that picture, obviously they would not be opting into these quote unquote
Yeah, that's
solutions.
right.
And imagine if the doctors understood. The doctors don't even know.
Right. Well,
hey,
I mean,
it's when you,
that's true.
of course, the doctor
And they're not
doesn't
paid to
know
know.
when you're sitting on the couch watching TV and you're like, oh, yeah, I do have RLS. I'm going to go ask my doctor for that. And you get off the couch and you call your doctor. You get there. You're like, hey, I think I need this medication. The doctor's like, why? And you're like, well, I have this. And we're like, okay, I get paid if I give it to you.
Well,
Fuck it.
that goes back to the search bar of CrossFit.com. So then if that actually lived that way and you were to type in like, hey, my doctor is prescribing me X, and you put into that, hey, what are the outcomes for X and how is that treating people? Has anybody ever been cured? Do they get off the medication? What does
Totally.
it look like 10 years down the road? And it gave you just the truth of it,
Yep.
not
Right.
something that was
Or just like
skewed
at least
because of
just
your
the
interest.
at least I mean you can find the truth if you really look hard, but they can't digest it. They can't understand it. Right?
No, so you got
Like the
to
healthcare
reduce
literacy is
friction on it.
fucking terrible, right? So
Yep.
like you need like A, B, C, D, two sentence. Like here's what it is. Here's the anticipated cost. Here's the
That's right.
anticipated results. Here's the most likely outcome, positive, negative, etc.
And you could have these conversations with AI now. I posted a few of them on my Instagram where you actually say,
Did
like,
you say et cetera?
Et cetera. It's et cetera.
Probably.
I don't know.
From here on
That's
out,
what we
et.
All right.
And you'll take the feedback, but you know who doesn't?
Dave Castro.
Dave says it on purpose now.
1, 2, 3.
He goes,
Dave Castro. I thought
He
we were gonna
goes,
say it in sync.
are your boys getting mad again, Sevilla? Etc. Okay, dude, if you want to sound dumb.
Etc.
But if you go to the AI now and you ask it like, hey, is the insurance company that I'm with legally supposed to pay my medical bills? It would say yes. And then you say, well, if that's true, how come so many of them don't get paid? And it'd be like, oh, great question. Here's why. And so you realize the whole entire thing is like complete smoke and mirrors in terms of like the safety you have by
Right.
being insured. And so once you start to unravel that to really educate people on how that system actually truly functions and how they profit off of it, you would start to see a lot more skeptical people that would say, maybe I would be more inclined to an alternative.
And you know what's fucking insane? You used to to get a federal tax penalty for not having insurance.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You can still in California.
I was going to say you still can somewhere, right?
Yeah, a couple states.
Well, it's a state tax penalty. It wouldn't be a federal.
Yeah.
You don't in North Carolina.
I guess the
That's-
blind faith thing, like I realize we're still there, and it societally, and it just like actually my brain melts onto the floor.
We are in a 19. We really are, and this isn't even getting political, but we are in a 1984 parallel, like it just there's this whole power structure designed to get people to just not even think for themselves.
To
Well,
not even think for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And just to actually not even that, but to go beyond that, to believe a complete lie.
Yeah, and it's been executed extremely well.
And not even believe the lie, but more importantly, defend it.
Ooh,
That's where it gets crazy.
That's the 1984 part. Makes me shake.
Yeah, and attack other people for saying that it could be a lie. Even just that it could be. Like, hey, you don't know that this could be set up the way that it's happening. This could all be on purpose. And I think that's why people told
that vein gets.
Big fat's genetic, Bryson.
people always ask me why I got so addicted to CrossFit. And the answer is always because of the freedom that it gave me and the freedom that it showed me you can have in so many different ways. And it starts with like your physical ability and like, hey, like if I eat this way and I train this way, then there's a lot of things I don't have to worry about. Like, especially when COVID started coming in, I was like, wow, all these people are terrified. And like, I know that I've built up a hedge, so I don't have to worry about this. But then you take it farther into things like that we're talking about right now. It's like, hey, I'm not worried about just like, even if community care is just starting up and maybe if there is something that is like would be super crazy that I wouldn't be able to cover on it, I'm not as worried about it as someone who doesn't think about this kind of thing at all, doesn't train, doesn't eat whole foods, like things like that is why CrossFit is so great and why I got so addicted to it. It's just because of you get addicted to that freedom and just realizing like, hey, I have control over what happens to me.
Yeah. Agency is quite potent.
That's a crazy good idea, Susan. $1 billion. I'm going
to write my book.
I've got $1 million
idea.
And I will say, it's actually, I mean, it's you said it so quickly. Like, I'm like, I need to go back and listen to what you just said again for me to be able to better digest it, because that's such a, I mean, it's a lot to try to wrap your mind around.
It is, but it's, hey, we're going to have a crowd chair that you can only be a part of if you practice our methodology.
Well, think about the value to affiliates now. So if the door to that opt-out button is through a CrossFit affiliate,
opt-out button, opt out of the current system.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say these things, you know them. So when you repeat a phrase, we have to really articulate what it is for me and everyone else like me.
Thank you for taking my generalization and causing clarity or enforcing clarity.
So the opt out of the current system button, if you want to be able to press that, push the button. If you've ever heard that from that, EDM song, it's CrossFit. You have to do CrossFit. You have to be a member. And then I'm sure it would be nice to have like a sliding tier. Like, if you sign up today and you are still a burden on the system, it's going to be $150 a month for your premium. But hey, in 5 years, if you have a sub 3 minute Fran and all these other great metrics, it's $12.
How insanely cool would that be?
Right. And then think about it this way too.
You can
incentivize actual health.
Think about it. If you were to actually take a rev share and say everybody that takes a L1 course, 50% of your yearly premium is actually from that course that you paid for, goes into the system already.
Dude,
so what do you get out of that? Now you get that. Now, if I'm an affiliate, okay, why would I pay my affiliate fee? Let's say a percentage of that goes to pay the majority of your annual healthcare cost for that affiliate owner. So now you have another one. Now you could even start to pull other courses out of it and do like a preventative healthcare course potentially, where then, okay, now that I take this as just an individual, I don't want to be a coach, but I want to learn about this and then move forward in preventative health. Now, as you take that course, you have another incentive because 50% of your whole entire annual premium is already paid for because you just took the course. So you incentivize people to take ownership of their health.
That's changing the world type.
Interesting.
Well, there are countries that do stuff like, hey, if you can fit between these two bars, you pay less.
Right.
And Taylor said, like, he has no problem trusting something like that, where it's, hey, you can only do this if you have a level 1, 2, 3, or 4. That not even just for community care, but for anything. Like if you go somewhere, a business where they're doing a service for you or selling you goods, and you know that person's a CrossFitter, it's like you want to give them your money, and you have so much more trust in whatever service they're about to do. Like all that stuff, I think CrossFit just goes outside of the gym, and it really is just a lifestyle. And you know that even if people go into it not wanting it to be their lifestyle and like not going to, it just bleeds out of the gym.
When I walk into a doctor's office, I want it to look like a CrossFit affiliate. Like when Bryson, when we were walking in here, Bryson was like, I wonder what people think when they come to this hotel and they're not a part of Affiliate Con and they just see hundreds of fucking jacked people everywhere. And I'm like, well, probably think Steroid Con. But like, I would want.
I don't know if we're that jacked.
We're fit. To normal people. Hey, to normal people.
100%.
Dude, to normal people. I mean,
it does. I mean,
they all look like normal people to us.
Dude, when we would came into Madison and like you would get in the Uber driver, like they would comment on that all
every
the time.
And
all the time.
And the crazy thing is you are taking health advice as fact. You know, hey, maybe at the end, like you don't have to be Matt Fraser to be a great coach, right? But like you would think that with something as important as your health and like the years that you have added onto your life for being healthy and having increased muscle mass and a higher VO2 max, you would think your doctor would know those things to be such a reality that they would want to live longer and have like a greater quality of life. And when they're, 85, they can do normal activities of daily living rather than living in a nursing home. But like your doctors are some of the most decrepit looking, like,
and they're also not incentivized to tell you how to fix your health.
That's right.
Well, and if they have no practical application understanding of how to do so, like, I mean, that's kind of like, that's something that has always been an issue to me is like, I'm sorry, but why am I, look, I'm not going to go take financial advice from somebody who is in, massive amounts of debt and whatever, right? Like, if I need to get sober, I'm probably not talking to someone who's actively not sober about it, whatever it is, right? Like, so to me, the health system, and I'm not saying they have to be, I don't know, Tia, whatever. Anyway.
Totally. Yeah.
But this is
to practice what they preach. And
and if you don't, then I'm not interested.
Totally. And what you had said, like, I don't know if you guys came into the back portion of the talk when I like to leave that optimism of like the differentiator and the work that they're doing over at the CrossFit Medical Society currently, because I think that the evolution of CrossFit, what would save CrossFit, what would push it just into the stratosphere, is converting all those affiliates into health centers.
And what you are at, and what I mean by, hey, you're at the precipice, is like the tip of the iceberg is CrossFit as we know it right now. And the other 90% that's underwater is what you're talking about right now. And it's, hey, Greg turned the fitness industry on its head by defining fitness and saying, hey, we don't care about what's in the textbook. We don't care about what you're learning in your master's of exercise science. We have practical application. And you know that after you do a CrossFit workout, after months, hey, I don't care about the science of it. And that's important, but I don't care. I care about the results.
Yep.
All I care about are the efficacy of my training regimen. And you are taking the same approach to healthcare and saying, all I care about is the efficacy of my healthcare program. And it's insane that CrossFit is that. It's insane that CrossFit is, hey, this is going to add years to your life. It's not the statins that are going to add years to your life. No. It's not the fucking, and
it's not even years that you want to add to your life, because right now they could hook you up to a machine and you could live.
Right.
The quality
add
of
life
them
to
is
your
way
years.
more important.
Add life to your years, but they're hand in hand. I want to live till I'm 120.
But you want to be able to ride your Harley and cruise around, like not
Harley,
not like
Dude, are you manifesting for me?
No, I don't. I'm not
You
a
look like a Harley
approval.
rider.
He is. He wants a bike. I don't approve.
Go get me a pack of Marlboro Lights, and I'm gonna take my motorcycle to the shop.
I really appreciate how much emphasis you guys are putting, because like most people do not enter an affiliate today seeking nutrition, seeking healthcare, right? There's a variety of reasons why they enter, and those typically aren't necessarily them, or maybe healthcare is, I guess.
Well, they don't think so.
Right. But what I'm saying, so we talked to Jocelyn Riley for a while earlier, and I loved some of the perspective that she shared about all of this. And one of the things she was talking about too with that was just how in the affiliate, a lot of times the what is the term that she was using about the standards, push your knees out, push your knees out. We're relentless about those things, right? In an affiliate. And so the relentlessness around these other details around the base of the pyramid. And like, you guys are talking about that a lot more. And I just like have a lot of gratitude for that, because it is the base of a pyramid for a reason. And maybe someone comes in with no interest about that, and that's okay. But can we create enough of curiosity about it through making it so attractive, right? I mean, that's how CrossFit worked. Is it so attractive that that somebody becomes curious about it oftentimes,
Totally.
And so also just drawing attention to that nutrition piece of it, which is a huge piece of the CrossFit methodology. I just have a lot of appreciation for it.
Yeah. One of the things that Nicole talked about, like one of her rules, and again, like Taylor said, she wasn't saying, hey, you have to do your rules and your culture the way that mine is. But this was an example she gave. She was saying that one of her rules is, hey, there's no food in here. There's no processed food that's just going to lead to chronic disease. So even when a member doesn't know that, like maybe someone newer brings in 30 donuts, I think was the example for somebody's birthday. It's like, hey, it's hard, but you got to tell them to turn around because that's not coming in here. And we're not going to like,
but the reason
encourage that. And
That's
me and
dope.
Taylor talk a
hard
lot
rule.
about how we get
That's
really frustrated with a lot of CrossFit gyms. Like culture is like, hey, when there's a celebration, let's go like to a brewery or go bring beers to the gym for post Murph, and just how frustrating that is. I've always found it really frustrating, and me and Taylor have talked about it a lot before. It just is it bothers me when people do that, and it's a good point.
The clients that you work with that are in the current healthcare system right now, right? Traditional Western medicine. If you have clients that work in that system, how often do they talk about one of their biggest struggles being what's in the break room at work?
Oh yeah,
Literally. I mean, it's such a barrier for them.
And this was the thing that the reason that Nicole gave, which was I couldn't even think of a better reason, and that is, it's already hard enough to say no to those things. Why are you making the one kind of safe haven that an affiliate is supposed to be?
Even
not
harder.
that.
Right.
So now you have to say no again. And if you say no again, you're like, oh, you look like that guy. Like, no, just don't give people the option to do that here. That's fine.
Yeah, like
you can't carry a gun in a post office. Okay. You can't bring a donut in my fucking box.
The whole class setting almost makes that hour of the 24 like easy mode. It's like, okay, yeah, it's really hard to do hard stuff all the time, but when you're in a class of 12 people,
easy.
You're number 12 and all the other 11 people are suffering through a workout. It's easy to push yourself because the person next to you isn't about to quit. So even if you want to, you're not going to. It's easy to make the decision, like in Nicole's example, because there's not those kinds of foods there. So that hour is when you're basically putting it on easy mode and learning how to do the other 23 hours better, because those ones are hard and there's no way around that. But in that hour in the gym, we're making it easy to do hard things.
And just to piggyback off that, like, so these guys, the two sitting next to me here, like truly exemplify that. Like when we go to any of the media stuff that we do around the games, around the semifinals, like you're not bringing shit foods into the house. And if you try to get it in there, they both have something to say about it. and it's good because it's one of those things that, like, you know, you hear like you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most, or like you're a byproduct of those that are closest to you. So when you have people like this that are in there, all of a sudden your habits will change.
Yeah, of course.
And that's like a really positive
summation of your closest people.
Yes, exactly. And so when these guys are doing it, it pushes it. And it's sure, it might be like, okay, that's it. That's an extreme right there. But it's like, yeah, but I carry that with me even when I leave afterwards, right? Because I'm thinking the same thing, like, I'm not going to buy that. These guys gave me stuff, right? Yeah. Exactly.
And we're not even that perfect. Like I had a pesto chicken sandwich from that place. I mean,
you dog.
But hey, I keep the high ground beef chips in my backpack, and I had those.
Also, did you say it seems extreme or something like that, or it's extreme? Whatever. Like, very, very shortly after making that shift, it's no longer extreme. It's just abundantly normal.
That's right.
You know, like it's really,
it's so normal. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It only seems extreme because of how society is now, how people live now, where you're not thinking about every single thing that you put in your body.
I need a sweet treat.
And people want to say that, oh, that's an eating disorder to care about literally everything that goes in your body. But that makes so much sense. Like if you were born in a vacuum and you grew up and you know, there's no other outside influence, that would be the only thing you think about is, hey, what am I feeling right now? And how do I make those things that I feel better? And the way to do that is to put good things in your body, because that's what makes.
Hey, I mean, it's just, look, you don't go to the gas station and say, wow, there's 87 89, 93. I'm just gonna take a shit in my gas tank. No, dude, you put literally what you're supposed to put in your gas tank.
Yeah.
That's what, hey, we know that if you have a really nice car with a high performance engine, you need to put 93 in your gas tank, and you wouldn't risk putting something else in it. Why is that so easy to do with a car? But just,
even though it might move, it's just going to move like shit.
And not for very long.
you might blow your fucking engine up.
There's a great story that Sevan likes to tell about Matt Bishel, and I don't know, maybe Jay could even validate it here, but he was talking about it was in the break room of CrossFit HQ, RIP HQ. But it was in the break room of CrossFit HQ, and somebody had brought in like donuts or somebody had brought in cookies, and Matt Bishel walked in and saw it, and the first thing he did is just walk over and he threw the whole thing away.
Yeah.
And people were like, what? And he's like, dude, that's not our ethos. We are headquarters. We're not having that stuff in here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And just to put another staple on the billion-dollar vision is that CrossFit needs like a headquarters again. Like the fact that CrossFit HQ doesn't have a gym inside of it is beyond me. But I would build
an
ball.
HQ? Is there like a
no?
There's not like it's like mailbox. There's nothing
right
now.
Yeah, it's all remote. And so like I think that there needs to be an actual HQ home base. And what I would do is I would build my media around it, just like Barstool Sports, meaning each person who worked there to a certain degree is a character there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that way you have
that's
all
what it
these
was in the
studios
past, but
and
it was
everything
it was the red shirts.
That's right.
Yeah, and that was amazing. Like,
because
we idolized all of them.
If you thought if you think about it, if you were to have a CrossFit HQ, and let's say most of the time you hosted like even the games there was on a big applaud enough now, and you could lower the overhead down quite a bit. If you had studios there, if you had a mega, like the ultimate affiliate there, now all of a sudden you could even lower the overhead of your courses if a lot of them were done through there as well. And then the media machine that would come out of there with multiple different podcast studios, also the characters all inside of it, you would just be able to have this media machine that was just pumping out content all the time. And then you could build into the fact of having a 2-day course like you do as an L1, but for an affiliate owner. So you actually go there, you would learn about the mess, as Greg used to call it, right? The issues and problems in the current system of the medical society, but you would also learn best practices for your gym. And then you would be shown as you took classes there, like this is what a great CrossFit class experience looks like, right? But you couldn't do it without an HQ.
But you are also kind of, that's an amazing idea. When you pitch it, I think it'll just never happen with the current kind of staffing, because I think they're all complacent. And I know this is going to be a hot take, but dude, and I'm not talking about the training staff. I'm not talking about the L1 staff.
No way.
I'm not talking about the L1 staff, but I'm talking about that whole kind of department is like, hey, they're on autopilot. They get to work from home. They get to work remote. They have a fucking beautiful salary. They don't have to do shit. And they get to stay in the shadows. And I think the personalprograms.com should be a public figure. I think I think exactly what you said. And it would force at minimum this, like, the eyes are on me. I better be at my top fucking shit. Hey, I know when Andy's taking my class, I'm teaching the best class of my life. I know when no one's in it. Yeah, guys, you know.
It's not, he doesn't do that when no one's in his class. But I was going to ask Souza before Taylor even said that. Like, obviously, that's so obvious that it would be so good. I don't know if it's because everyone's wanting to work from home. I feel like it's more because the people who work there now don't do CrossFit. They don't know what CrossFit is. They think it's a workout routine.
Maybe that's an element of it, dude. But think about this. You have a fucking 6-figure salary. You work from home. You live in Florida. And HQ's like, hey, HQ's in fucking Santa Cruz now. Shit out of luck, you're moving. You're like, fuck that, I don't want to move. Or better yet,
bye.
It never gets to that idea because you're part of the 70 people who work remote and from home and wherever you fucking live, and you guys aren't going to pitch that idea because you want things to remain as nice as they are.
Yeah, I think you would weed people out, but also too, like, nobody signs up for a job to be unsuccessful.
Hey, you should weed people out.
No, I completely agree. But if you crafted a vision big enough to where everybody could see themselves inside of it, and you really were like, this thing is going to change and revolutionize healthcare, and do you want to be a part of this? And yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable because we're going to have you move here. Like, then you would weed it out right away.
Hey, HQ right now is like Congress, and Dave is like Nancy Pelosi. And God, I love the guy, but he's a lizard. And you're gonna give him an opportunity. Hey, dude, give him an opportunity. I'm just saying, give him an opportunity to rein it back in, get that fucking spending under control, have a fire lit under you. But dude, it's been the status quo. The same people for 20 years. They're tired. They're like, oh, they're going through the motions. Your ideas are never going to be implemented by the people who are at HQ.
No, that's why
Get the fuck
that's
outta
why I
here.
gotta buy it. That's why I gotta buy
and
it.
but
Okay, good
even
luck.
if they
Okay,
made a
Frank.
show, even if they were all in this,
Frank
He
2.0.
starts a crowdfund.
even if they were all in the same place, you
You'd get
couldn't
closer than
do
Frank for sure.
you couldn't do the Barstool character
People might
thing
give you
because
money,
people would
Susan.
get exposed.
Yeah, you
There's
could
people-
not.
there's
Could
people-
you imagine Barstool character with a net?
Hey,
Right. People are there who don't know what
And it
CrossFit
hasn't
is.
even there.
They think it's the next. They think it's like another Orange Theory that they're gonna like
it's
move
just-
on from.
No, and you guys, so you're actually nailing my whole entire point of that.
Yeah, he's
Because
like,
now
"Thanks."
we
Thanks for
have
proving my point.
Claire
now
ready to eat
yes, because
herself.
now we have extreme accountability. And one other piece that I would like to
Jocko?
add on to this vision of it is once you have the CrossFit affiliate course, so you have to go take that 2-day course to open up your own CrossFit gym, right? The second piece that I would add to it is every single red shirt, every single L1 would have a geographic location that they lived in, and their job would be to do random drop-ins at all the CrossFit affiliates that are
Great.
around
So-
there, and then send
Ooh.
feedback directly to that owner.
Quality
So
control.
What,
Yes.
quality control. So does
Yeah.
that go against? So what?
That
where's
doesn't
the-
go against the affiliate model the way he's pitching it.
Yeah.
Okay, so like what is the limit? It's just subjective feedback and like, hey, you kind of suck. You need to get better.
So the
Like, is there
licensing
any penalties?
the licensing fee is you can't have a certain amount of control over it, right? But at any point in time inside the contract, I could revoke your licensing fee. So what I would do is we would say, hey, you would be ranked on a scale of what we think is a great experience and exemplifies the CrossFit and what we wanted to see, and it's directly back to the owner.
Here's our level 10 gyms, our
And-
level 9 gyms.
and you could
Ooh.
gamify it if you wanted to gamify
Sure.
it, but at the same time you would get a thing where it's like, hey CJ, we came into the gym and we noticed a couple of these going on, like let's like we would like to
Wrong.
see next
Not
time
my
this
gym.
come in, right? What's that?
So not my gym, but yeah. I
Okay,
understand.
well, yeah, right. But like, so it's like, hey, we came into your gym, Matt. We noticed these things were kind of going on. We would love to see them changed. By the way, here's some resources. Let us know how we could help, right? So
Sure.
you come with this help first mentality,
Solution.
not like we're out to get you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the second time we re-drop back in on the visit, if nothing has changed, it's like, hey, we have dropped back in again and we noticed that there is nothing being changed there. Can we have something going on? The third time, we drop your affiliateship, right?
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
kind of just making up the 1, 2, 3 type thing, but like you could do that and it would all be behind closed door. And
But
if you,
accountability matters. You know?
accountability matters. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna, and if we're gonna go back to the original Barstool model that I talked about, we're exemplifying extreme accountability because you know who each person is. We
Mhm.
see them and we have that relationship. So the expectation is already set from the top down.
Mhm.
So we're not asking you to do anything that we don't exemplify ourselves at CrossFit HQ.
Mhm.
And that's how that model would work.
And no offense, and look, I was being facetious when I said the thing about Dave in a lot of ways. In some ways, I wasn't. But at the moment, he thinks he's the only person who can be the public figure and have that accountability because he doesn't think the rest of his team can handle it. And maybe that's not conscious,
you've got a lot of seminar staff members that are putting themselves out there a lot more
right?
these days too. So like there's, of course, like let's like all of these ideas that you pitch are like, it is remarkable to have so many different minds that care so deeply, that are willing to come up with so many ideas. Like it's so cool. But as far as the people involved, like I know there's a lot of seminar staff members that are here this weekend that are like really putting themselves
But
out
they're not
there.
employees of CrossFit. Seminar staff, you're a contractor. You're a 1099.
Well, I think her point is that they're just like heavily invested and involved and they want to see it do good and they're willing to.
But
put
that
in
was-
work
and
to
will
do that
yeah
too.
and willing to and would do more, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also have to go
So-
easy on Dave because like struggling with dementia is it's a real thing.
Hey, but listen. Hey, but hey, to Claire's point, the seminar staff are not the
Easy.
barrier to these ideas. It's
Yeah.
HQ. It's,
No.
Yeah.
it's these 70
Do you feel-
remote
so-
lizards in
Right.
Congress.
So do you feel though, like in the past 9 to 12 months or whatever this transition phase is, like, do you think that like they're moving in that more? I guess it depends on who buys, but like, what do you think, Susan? Like, do you feel like they're moving in that direction?
There's two big things that have been void of CrossFit since Greg sold it, and it's been number one, vision. Because if we don't have clarity around the vision of like who we are and where we're going, right? There's nothing to unify under. The second piece of that is direction, because once we have the vision, we know the direction in which we're going.
Mhm.
And the third thing is leadership that implements that direction. So without those three things, you're just kind of floundering. And
There's
then
a fourth thing:
what's that?
racist jokes.
Okay.
I was gonna say there's been a significant decrease in Floyd 19 tweets since he sold.
These guys keep you completely humble here, huh? You try to be all serious about it.
Lost
You
the
get
plot.
the fourth person. Holy
Bring
smokes.
Greg
Judy,
back. Sorry,
Judy,
I'm
I was
sorry.
doing fine earlier. This is the moment. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
sorry.
was it. But no, I mean it's true, right? Because like right now, like if there's no vision of like let's get fired up about this because here's what we're doing. And it's not 30 million CrossFitters, right? That was just completely like, it just got pulled out of Don's ass.
Yeah.
So like, if you think about, you had a vision, like we just talked about the healthcare, and all
that
of a
was a
sudden
vision.
now
What
we're
you
like,
just did was a vision.
yeah. So we're like, okay, cool. We're revolutionizing healthcare. And I said, and here's the direction on how we're going to do it. Boom, 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 boom. And then we go, and by the way, these are the characters that are going to implement it. And we're going to watch them do it. We're going to, they're going to show their leadership in moving us in that direction. Without those three things, you don't like, there isn't a company.
Yeah, you just
like
smoke and mirrors.
That's right. You're basically just trying to keep status quo.
Yeah.
And I think to your point about like the last like 9 months or so, let's say, is like once there's a void in leadership, nobody really knows how to act because there's not a top dog. There's not an alpha dog, for lack of better words, telling us like this is where we're going. And if you're outside of these lines, you're not with us anymore. Right. So without having that intact, and then when you add on the fact of like, hey, there's going to be a sell and there's going to be all these changes, what you get is a bunch of internal jockeying for position, because now rather than being unified with you guys on that vision and on that direction with some sort of leadership that's keeping us in line, I'm now trying to kind of like undercut Taylor, maybe do a little better than Bryson, because I know when the company goes to sale, I'm trying to get his job. He's trying to save his job. I'm trying to look at you guys and be like, well, are they going to get my job? So you have this internal struggle. And once you have an internal struggle, you're not going to be able to actually execute on anything.
Oof.
I think I just know very little about the lizards you speak of.
Yeah.
That's how they like it.
Yeah, it is. Hey, and I'm a super, I have to be honest. I mean, I'm using a lot of humor, and I'm using very strong, powerful phrases and descriptors.
It's almost like it's a coping mechanism.
But I do think that there is this, it's what Sousa said. There's no unified direction. And there's also, it's almost like everyone's waiting for the shoe to drop. When you're waiting for the shoe to drop, you're not being proactive at what you want and what you're looking to push forward. And then at the same time, yeah, why would I change anything if I'm making $250,000 a year writing workouts from my fucking couch? Why would I want anything to change? Like, life is good.
Yeah.
Right.
Why would you? There's no way.
And there's no one, and there's no one there
No
who's
one's
saying,
right.
hey, you guys are great. Like, I'm not saying no one there is great.
Yeah.
But we need to be better, and this is where we're going and what we're doing. And if you want to be a part of it, let's go. And if you don't, no worries.
It's like Nicole's talk on a bigger scale.
Right.
Yes.
There's no one doing what Nicole does at her gym at HQ.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, but how simple is that? Because what she just gave a talk over was not overly complex. It was very straightforward, and it was very in alignment with the methodology. Like, we're not, nothing about that was new. She's just doing it well.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like when Greg was at the helm, you knew exactly what it was. He reminded the affiliates that we sit in unique possession of a cure to the world's most vexing problem.
It's like he knew.
You knew it, right?
Yeah.
And so once we knew that, it's like, okay, cool. I would say too, with like the DDCs and things that I was allowed to be a part of, well, allowed's a strong word. I snuck into basically
the BBCs,
the DDCs, the Derelict Doctors Club.
Oh.
And so I was seeing where he was going at a unique, like I had a unique vantage point because I was in there listening to these lectures. I would walk over and kind of sit in on the MDL ones. And I was like, holy crap. Like I see where he's going with this now. Yeah. And, it was articulating that vision and maybe showcasing a little bit more where it could have been done a little bit differently, where it would have helped a little bit, but it also got cut short with COVID because I knew that the April one that I was keen to go to in March when they started the shutdowns, inevitably nobody was really traveling anymore. So they stopped the DDC there shortly after we had the whole thing that happened with Greg. But I firmly believe that if COVID wouldn't have happened, or if it would have altered a little bit and he wasn't forced to sell, I think CrossFit would have been bigger than it's ever been. And I think Greg's popularity would have skyrocketed to something like we've never seen before. I mean, the 5 buckets of death not only encompasses everything that I talked about before with the healthcare insurance company and everything that's perfectly wrong with it, but he also literally looked at it and was like, we're going to have a tsunami of chronic disease. And that's exactly what COVID was. It was killing people with multiple comorbidities that were having chronic disease. So he literally saw it before anybody else did, and he could articulate it better than anybody else. And we had the solution to it, right?
But you know what?
Well, that's the crazy
part. Chronic disease is no longer exclusive to just elderly overweight people.
No.
Like, hey, the biggest form, like more kids overeat now than are in starvation.
Yeah, well, and also the foods that the Franken foods that they are eating also. I mean, like chronic disease is now for children. Yes, it is now for adults who, I mean, like I technically in the last 2 years got diagnosed with 2 chronic diseases, you know, and a beautiful thing about that is that real food has been instrumental in the healing.
That's right.
From that.
Yeah. The food, like the food is medicine.
Right.
And like, that's
But you're
what we
weird
do.
if you eat whole foods.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
such a
insane
fucking wild.
that we grew up with commercials of starving kids in third world countries, and now the leading cause of malnutrition in children is obesity. That's fucking unbelievable. And I'll say this, I don't think society as a whole was ready for Greg. And I don't think they would have been ready for Greg until
now,
this year.
Right.
Because he said things in a way where feelings were hurt. And when you hear someone like Maliolo on Peter's podcast saying, you know, I can talk more about it, but I think the writing was on the wall, and Greg getting out was a long time coming, and there were a lot of reasons for it. To me, it's because of he said things in a way that people didn't like, and you're caring more about feelings and people being okay with what they're hearing rather than the truth being spoken. And there's a crazy, and there's just do you want the truth or do you want to feel good?
Yeah, and it's also, you also don't even have to feel good. You can get your feelings hurt, but look inside and be like, hey, why does that hurt my feelings? Like when he says things that hurt your feelings, you have to be like, oh man, that's a deep cut. Like, why do I feel that way? Like you can use that to understand what he's saying more rather than, you know,
but society
trying to get him kicked out.
Even now, society is like, we're not really sure if society's ready for that. We're sure that people who are looking for more in life and they're looking for meaning and they want to grow, whether that's physically, mentally, spiritually, like you're looking for, hey, how can I turn this into something I can control? But most people, I mean, that's essentially the incredibly polarizing part of the world we live in, is there are people that think that something that you say can physically harm you, and there are people that think, hey, I have a choice of whether that affects me or not. And I think that we just weren't ready for Greg.
And there's one side of that sort of those two different thinking patterns, like, hey, that hurts me, or hey, I can decide if that hurts me or not. One side of that is significantly happier in life
and healthier too, probably.
And healthier. And the fact that the people on the other side don't see that, like, oh, wow, that person's not getting offended by anything I say, even when I'm trying to offend them. Like, why would you not see that and choose that
as a better way of living?
Right. Like, it makes your life better.
And the other part about Greg is you need someone who is like that to lead in a way and to capsize the current system the way he could have done it. You cannot have someone like Don do what Greg could have done. You can't have someone even remotely afraid to speak like that have started a revolution like CrossFit.
But do you think that comes down to conviction? Like the thing is, Greg found things that he found he had such deep conviction about that it was kind of like, I don't have a choice whether I tell the truth or not. Like I'm so convicted about it that I must, right? Versus something like a Don who came into a position to, you know, I mean,
it makes it easier. I
don't know. I mean, maybe it's conviction, but he told the truth. He told the truth regardless of how anyone felt.
Sometimes too.
So in his hierarchy of
the truth is the most important thing to him. And so maybe we need but
here's
a
the
leader
thing
right now.
I will say this. There's a caveat to that. Because you should tell the truth, but I think the most important thing in moving forward with CrossFit is going to be able to package the truth so that way the individual could receive the message.
Totally.
Because here's the deal: if you just speak the truth but you don't package it in a way that it falls on deaf ears, and it doesn't matter. And one of the things that I think would be really important moving forward with CrossFit is actually fostering the relationships with people that are like-minded a little bit, that also have big platforms, in a way that they could actually receive the message. Because if you just go with like the hardcore truth, like, babe, does this dress make me look fat? And you're just like, yeah, it's like, well, okay, it's probably not going to go over that well, right? But if you articulate it in a way where you're not lying and not softening it too much, but you're just packaging in a way that they're able to receive it, like, I don't know, babe, that color's not really
and I agree with you. And I think that was one of Greg's shortcomings, is you're such an incredible leader. And if he cared as much as we all wanted him to care, needed him to care, he would have found a way to articulate things. Look, he's the best, he's the most articulate person you'll ever listen to.
Oh yeah.
And so, he can articulate things, and he's also the most caring person. Like, you can feel the care come off of him as a person if he cares about you. So we just wish that, like, but everybody has shortcomings. Like,
totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, communication, you
me.
think about like in the
Obviously.
relationships that matter to you, you know, like you need to speak to a person in a way that you can be heard. Right.
Yes.
And so that's what you're, I guess, speaking to, is that maybe the tone wasn't one that could be heard.
And there's
And
a balancing act.
That's
too.
part of what the for anyone but not everyone thing is. Like, hey, there's some things that we're not gonna like change how we say it to you. Like, we're not gonna say, oh well, like if you're trying to get your hip crease below your knee, like it's okay. Like, we're gonna just tell you how it is. But and then there's other times where when you're just trying to get someone to come into the gym, or you know, you're in Greg's position where you're very forward facing, then maybe you do need to like talk how people are going to hear you.
Well, and I think, I don't know, I always take a principle for life of like attraction. You know, I just always come back to attraction. Is what can you be doing in your own personal life to make it so attractive? You live a life that is so attractive that it makes people curious, you know, with and CrossFit being the methodology that you follow, you know, for your health specifically.
And I will say this too, there's a great book called Thanks for the
And it's not
Feedback, and I
sexy,
forget
but
the
it's
name.
true.
I forget the name of the authors of it, but it was talking about like the messenger sometimes is more important than the message. And the example that they use is like there was a husband and wife that came into like a restaurant, and she was like, hey, you need to like lower your crutches because the doctor said that if you lean on them that way, it's going to cause nerve problems underneath your arms, right? And he's like, shut up, you're nagging me, blah, blah, blah. And then a stranger walked over and said, hey, did you hurt your leg? And they go, yeah. He's like, yeah, I actually just got off crutches too. By the way, one thing that really helped me is I lowered the crutches down a little bit because it was really going to bother my arms or whatever. But, and they were like, oh, okay, thank you. And the wife was like, what the heck? I've been telling you that whole entire time.
Yeah.
But it was just the way that it was like packaged in that, right? And there's also like paradigm shifts, which happened, which is another good one from, I think it was like a Stephen Covey book, but they were talking about someone was sitting at the airport and they were super hungry and they grabbed this bag of chips. And so they sat next to somebody else because it was super crowded. And as they were eating the chips, they looked over and they were like, holy crap, the person next to me just reached into my bag and grabbed a chip. And they're like, and inside their head, they're having this internal conversation. Like, I can't believe this person is eating my chips. Like, this is insane, right? And they're getting super pissed up, super, super worked up about it. And then the last chip comes and the guy that was reaching into the other person's bag picks it up and goes, oh, there's the last one. Do you want to split it? And he was like, yeah, like all pissed off. So he breaks the chip in half and hands it to him. And he goes, okay. The other guy walks off that was eating the chips. The dude's all sitting there all pissed off. I can't believe that person ate the chips. And then they turned and looked next to him and realized their bag of chips was sitting on the other side. He had actually been eating out of the other person's bag of chips the whole entire time. And so you get this big paradigm shift, like, holy shit, I thought you were the enemy this whole time. And it turned out that I was the one doing it. And even though that happened, they still split that last chip with me. Right. So all of a sudden you have this deep self-reflection of like, oh, well, wait a minute, maybe I'm the bad guy in this situation, and I could articulate something differently, or I could look at it from a different perspective, which then would allow me to build that relationship, build the trust, and then the person could actually receive my message.
Yeah.
I think I should be the messenger.
Should you?
I think you should definitely be.
Yeah,
I mean, hey,
leader.
every storyline like
Most
definitely needs
forward-facing
villains,
voice.
and so in this HQ model, and all the characters, I mean, you would be a character.
Definitely,
I could definitely tweet Floyd
definitely
19.
has his face.
Do that.
Just
Probably
on
nothing else
repeat.
Greg could do.
Just
Oh,
on
man.
repeat.
Every day. Floyd 19.
Did you want to bring up anything else?
I mean, maybe. But
Sorry.
No,
No,
it's
No,
sorry,
you're
perfect.
good.
Driver
Perfect.
the
No,
show.
I mean,
No, there were a couple
no,
of other.
it was like it was exactly what I wanted, right? Like I was like, oh, it's going to be a 5-minute answer or it's going to be a long answer. And so I'm really happy that you guys really dug into that. And that was cool.
Yep.
You want to talk about like abortion or something?
Perfect. There we go. Good.
Oh my god.
No, I don't.
Oh my
We just,
god.
like, get marriage.
I'm thankful for
Yeah,
Bryson. I'm thankful for Bryson because
He makes you look 1% better.
when I say
Sometimes.
something so bad, I can always count on him to make me feel better.
Yeah.
just 1%. You
Yeah.
still look like a degenerate.
my
Oh man,
Lanta.
I think every other conversation I bring up might add another 40 minutes to the podcast. So
Yeah,
why don't we
yeah.
just plan to talk
No.
tomorrow?
Man,
Yeah.
oh
Do
yeah,
this
that's
again.
oh, okay. Yeah, if you guys want to,
You wanna
I don't know.
close-
There were other.
Hey, we'll
things,
do it
but-
again.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're down.
Cool.
I speak in the morning. We do it in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We'll
If you
yeah.
want to do like a cap to the day, I mean, depending on whatever, I don't know.
Whatever
we'll
you guys
do-
got going on, let me know.
Yeah, we'll close the day with you guys. I don't know what our schedule is, but like 4 or
Sick.
5 or something.
Got
Okay.
$4. Anybody?
Strip club.
Holla, take
Rich.
that to your budget hotel.
It's Texas.
Get
Is there
you, like, a
casinos
water
in
or
Texas?
Juan
No.
Miriandara.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry. You taught me it, dude. From Hormozzi's book.
Oh yeah, they're
One
talking a lot of crap
What are the
about you, Taylor.
comments?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, someone said
Oh, someone
There
gave,
was-
Larry gave money. Taylor is right. The open is important. Dave refuses to budge. Evolve. I don't know what that means. Vicky gave $2, and yeah, just
There's one that said Sentinel training hurt me. I don't know. But it was like
Emotionally, they're talking about emotionally.
there we go.
I think
Yeah.
I think
That
it's
was funny.
Physically,
What is it?
subpar programming.
Does anybody want to invest in my idea? Please just send money to
Ow, my
Matt.
back, Sentinel training. Ha ha ha! Good one, people. We don't even deadlift or even anything like that, so you couldn't get hurt.
No
Are we
deadlifts?
looking through the comments? Is that
I'm
what you guys
kidding.
did?
No
Yeah,
deadlifts
now we're
ever? There we go.
infatuated with the comments.
We deadlift every day, actually.
What's the idea? 40 minutes late. You got to rewatch it.
Do what?
Someone asked,
Oh.
what's the idea?
Oh.
Cool guys.
Oh.
What's the plan tomorrow? Are you same topic tomorrow?
Yeah,
speaking
same topic tomorrow. Hopefully it goes a little smoother because I've already done it once, but
Yeah.
I never like redo the same thing exactly twice. So
Dude, they
it's gonna
got
be a
you in the
little different.
big room, all the lights, all the tables, and
I
you
know.
had that
Shout
place.
out. Oh, you hooked me up, dude. Wifey.
Hi,
Wifey,
wifey.
it's time.
My
It's bedtime.
I have Lizzie as Lizzie wifey too.
Yeah, it's wifey. Oh
Those
yeah,
are
of
people.
course. That's my baby.
It was before we were even married.
She was wifing my phone before we were
Aw.
It was
married.
before they even
Wha-
officially met.
On
He
our
was
first
just out in the
date,
front
on our
lawn.
first date, I told Lizzie she would look hot
He didn't even
pregnant.
have her phone number, and he
Is
just
that
made a
crazy?
contact card.
No, dude,
Just
that's
cropped
that's
himself in.
you're a truth teller. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
we were like, it was.
You manifested that
I was
shit,
like, wow,
bro.
you'd look hot pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
You
crazy.
look hot with my green monster in you.
Oh.
All right. Well,
Okay.
And Susan made Bryson look better.
That's right. There we go. That's
we
great.
compliment each other like
Oh,
that. dude.
solid, solid finishing.
You
points.
are the sum of the 5 people you spend your time around. So while
That's
Susan
right.
eats meat and fruit, he also carries a green monster with him everywhere he goes.
And he's the one presenting this weekend.
and
Yeah.
has
All right.
the $1 billion dream.
The $1 billion dream. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll do this again tomorrow. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys, for listening.
Thank you.
Susan, thanks for digging into that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a good one. Good night. Peace.
Bye.